Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Smackdown review. Smackdown tonight was from the Resch Center in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And Smackdown tonight, I thought it was a good show in my opinion. Really enjoyed Smackdown tonight. We had Carmelo Hayes on the show tonight, and he was in the first round of the United States Championship Tournament. So Carmelo Hayes ended up taking on Grayson Waller. We had Kevin Owens versus Austin Theory, also in the first round of the United States Championship Tournament, which started last week on SmackDown, where you had Santos Escobar and Bobby Lashley end up winning their matches, where Santos Escobar ended up defeating Dragon Lee. Bobby Lashley ended up defeating Karrion Kross. And then we had the Kabuki Warriors, which was Asuka and Kairi Sane versus Zelina Vega and Mia Yim. And the main event, we had Randy Orton versus Jimmy Uso. And also, we had the return of AJ Styles tonight. Yes, AJ Styles made his return to SmackDown, which I'll get into, what he did at the end of the show. Of course, probably by the title, you already know. So, but overall, SmackDown was a very good show tonight. Of course, we had Roman Reigns end up returning. So, overall, very good show SmackDown was tonight. But before I get into the review, I got some news on Liv Morgan. So if you haven't heard this news, news about Liv Morgan came out. She was arrested yesterday. This made rounds when SmackDown was on tonight. This news broke out tonight. But going to show you all the other news here. Okay. All right, so here we go. Liv Morgan was arrested for marijuana possession in Florida on Thursday evening. According to a report from PW Insider, Liv Morgan will be arraigned on charges of possession of marijuana, possession of drug equipment, and possession of drugs next Monday at Summer County Courthouse at 9 a.m. She will enter a plea, and she's currently out on $3,000 bond. It says right here, for what it's worth, possession of drugs, possibly synthetic cannabinoid, is a felony in Florida, punishable by up to a year in jail, a year of probation, and a $1,000 fine. The charge for possession of marijuana is a first-degree misdemeanor in Florida, and that charge is punishable by up to a year in jail or probation and a $1,000 fine. Additionally, this charge can result in a 6-month driving license suspension, random drug testing, and reimbursement of all fees related to the case. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with Liv Morgan here. So more news will come out, of this. So we'll follow up on this story. This was shocking to me. Never would have thought Liv Morgan would, be arrested, for, possession of marijuana and, drug equipment and possibly synthetic cannabinoid. So, but we'll see what happens. So just wanted to touch on this news here, if any of you did not hear about it. But that's news on Liv Morgan there. So, I'm going to get into the SmackDown review, but also, if you guys haven't checked out my previous video that I uploaded earlier today, did a review showing off my Laserdisc player and going over the history of Laserdisc. Showed how the quality of the Laserdisc looked on my HD TV. Showed a Christmas Story that I recently got on Laserdisc. So check out that if you guys haven't seen it. But overall, let's jump right into the review. So SmackDown opened up tonight with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns ended up coming out, making his return, and he ended up coming out along with Paul Heyman, Jim Uso, and Solo Sikoa. And today ends up making 1,202 days that Roman has been champion. So Roman and Paul Heyman, Jim Uso, Solo Sikoa were in the ring after we saw a clip of the tag team match from last week where Randy Orton and LA Knight teamed up and they defeated Jim Uso and Solo Sikoa. So we had Paul Heyman end up giving the Tribal Chief the mic. Roman then got on the mic. He ended up telling Green Bay to acknowledge him. And of course, we had the fans end up putting their fingers in the air. So Roman ended up telling the fans to shut their mouths. He ended up saying that he would not have done that if they would have kept the boos down. He ended up saying that it's the Christmas season, it's the holidays, and that he is here to celebrate. Roman ended up saying that it's promotion season because he is a good boss and that he is a fair tribal chief. Roman wants to say that when someone is doing good, we let them know. When someone is doing bad, they smash them. But that's not tonight. He ended up saying tonight is about one man. He has bent over backwards, sacrificed everything. This man understands what it means to keep the family at the top of the mountain. He ended up saying that if something happens to him, this person is the next in line. So then we saw Jim Uso. He was smiling behind Roman. And the fans end up breaking out chanting for Randy Orton. So Roman ended up saying that this isn't for Randy Orton. And this man is going to be responsible for the bloodline. And that he is going to be the next tribal chief. So Roman ended up telling Jimmy to join him in congratulating his brother, Solo Sikoa. So Jimmy looked around. Roman ended up hugging Sikoa. And Roman ended up telling him that he loves him. So pretty much Roman Reigns wants Solo Sikoa to be the next tribal chief. So Randy Orton ended up coming out. He ended up coming down to the ring, and then SmackDown went to commercial. I don't know why it all of a sudden went to commercial. But as SmackDown came back from the commercial, Orton got into the ring. Fans were chanting for him. Orton ended up getting on the mic. He ended up saying for 18 months, he has been thinking about this moment, about what he is going to do, what he is going to say. But the only thing he really needs to tell Roman is that he is coming for him. He ended up saying that it took 18 months from him and that he is going to take everything away from Roman. And he doesn't care which one of his family members he has to go through to get the job done. So Randy then ended up telling Roman that it all starts tonight and that it ends at the Royal Rumble. So Orton ended up saying that he is challenging Roman for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble. So the fans were chanting RKO. Roman then looked at the crowd. Roman ended up saying, by the sounds of the fans, it sounds like Orton deserves it. Reigns ended up saying that Orton was thinking about this for 18 months, but Roman has not thought about him at all. So he ended up saying that Orton has been gone for 18 months, and that he has not done anything to earn this opportunity and does not deserve this opportunity, and that Orton can go to the back of the line where he belongs. So Roman ended up saying that everyone wants to hang with the tribal chief, but that's not how it works. Roman then told Orton to do what he does, which is to tap into that dumb head of his and to listen to that voice. Roman ended up saying to Orton that it's not 2007. He is head and shoulders above him and everyone else. Roman ended up telling Randy if he has a match with him, he won't be away for 18 months. It will be retirement because Orton is never coming back. So Orton then ended up saying, well, maybe Roman, maybe you're right. So Orton ended up saying that he is looking in the eyes of the tribal chief, and he can see that Roman has changed for the better. He ended up saying that he is no longer just a historical champion. He is a legend. Orton then ended up telling Reigns that he has changed too, and that he has evolved. But the one thing he will forever be is a legend killer. So Orton ended up going to RKO Reigns, but Reigns ended up getting out of it. Orton ended up telling Reigns maybe he should start thinking about him. Orton then ended up pointing to his ear. He ended up saying that he is getting something from the voices of his head. And they are telling him that Reigns might have just crapped his pants. And Orton then ended up throwing the mic down. Orton also ended up saying that the voice in his head said that Daddy's back. So pretty much that was basically how the segment ended. But I thought this was a good segment here. You know, Roman Reigns coming back. You know, Randy Orton coming out there, wanting to challenge Roman for the title at the Royal Rumble, which obviously, you know, we're going to get. We're going to get Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. But overall, good segment to open up SmackDown tonight. And as SmackDown came back from the commercial, we had the first match of the night. We had the first round of the United States Championship Tournament continuing, started last week. So we had Grayson Waller versus Carmelo Hayes from NXT. Carmelo Hayes is just very good in the ring. He's good on the mic. If you watch him on NXT, you know, he calls himself him. But really, I'm a fan of Carmelo Hayes. And this was a very good match here. This was a test to see how Carmelo Hayes would do when he comes up to the main roster. So the match ended up getting underway. Carmelo Hayes delivered a drop kick to Grayson Waller. Waller got to his feet, and Carmelo Hayes ended up locking in an armbar on Waller. Waller delivered a right hand. He ended up getting out of the armbar that was locked in by Hayes. Waller ended up going for a right hand to Hayes, but Hayes delivered a right hand. Hayes then delivered a chop to Waller's chest. Hayes then ended up rolling Waller up, and then Waller ended up kicking out. Hayes ended up running towards Waller, but Waller laid a kick to Hayes' face. Waller then delivered knees to Carmelo's face. He ended up slamming Carmelo in the corner. Waller ended up running towards Carmelo, but Carmelo ended up delivering a head scissor takedown on Waller, to which Waller then rolled to the outside of the ring. Waller got back into the ring, and Carmelo ended up clotheslining Waller to the outside. And that's when SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, Waller ended up running towards Carmelo Hayes, but Hayes ended up jumping off the second rope over Waller. Hayes then ended up landing on his feet, but he ended up twisting his knee as he came off the second rope. So Waller then delivered a clothesline to Hayes. Waller then ended up grabbing Hayes, but Hayes delivered some right hands and a chop to Waller's chest. Hayes then delivered a face buster. He ended up going for the cover, and Waller ended up kicking out. Hayes climbed to the second rope, but Waller ended up tripping Hayes up, and Hayes ended up falling face first onto the canvas. Waller climbed to the second rope. He put his leg over Hayes' neck. He ended up spinning Hayes and spiked Hayes on his head, which looked brutal. So Waller ended up going for the cover, and Hayes ended up kicking out. So at the end of the match, Waller ended up getting to the ring. Carmelo Hayes ended up hitting Waller with the first 48. So Hayes ended up climbing the top rope. He ended up hitting Waller with nothing but net, which is his finishing maneuver. So Hayes ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Carmelo Hayes ended up winning the match. And I thought Carmelo Hayes, before going to this match, I'm like, oh, so Carmelo Hayes is in this tournament. He's going to be featured on SmackDown. And I know he's just going to be there to take the loss, which that wasn't the case. I'm really glad that they made Carmelo Hayes, win the match. He was the right man to win it. And this is a possible, showcase for him when he makes his debut on the main roster. And, he had cheers from the crowd. Overall, very good match this was. So then we went backstage and we saw Randy Orton. Randy Orton was walking, and in came LA Knight. Knight ended up asking Orton for what time he should set his alarm to save the night, to which Orton ended up telling Knight that he doesn't need his help. Knight ended up saying to Orton that it's a numbers game, and they know how the numbers work. He ended up telling Orton that he would probably not have been able to sign his SmackDown contract if it wasn't for him. Orton ended up telling Knight that they won their match last week, and they are good right now. Orton then ended up telling Knight that they should keep it that way, and to do that. And that Knight has to stay out of his way. Knight ended up telling Orton that the only person who will get the championship off Roman Reigns is him. So pretty much that was basically that. Knight is concerned that, the bloodline will beat down on Orton and he has to save him. But Orton's like, no, stay out of my way. You don't have to come out there. And as SmackDown came back from the commercial, we had another match in the first round of the United States Championship Tournament. Kevin Owens versus Austin Theory. And before both of these matches got underway, Logan Paul was, cutting promos, about the competitors here, Owens and Theory and Carmelo Hayes and Grayson Waller. So Kevin Owens was shown wearing a cast on his right hand. And the match ended up getting underway. We had Owens end up blocking a headlock on Theory, but Theory ended up throwing Owens into the ropes. Owens then delivered a shoulder tackle, which was followed up by an arm drag. Owens then ended up grabbing Theory, but Theory ended up delivering a kick and a knee to Owens. Theory then threw Owens into the ropes, but Owens delivered a spinning elbow, which was followed up by a senton on Theory. Theory ended up rolling to the outside of the ring. Owens got on the ring apron, and Theory also got on the ring apron. Owens ended up kicking Theory down, and he delivered a cannonball off the ring apron to Theory. Owens then threw Theory back into the ring. He ended up climbing the top rope. Theory then rolled to the ring apron. Owens ended up grabbing Theory, but Theory ended up hanging Owens up on the top rope. Theory then rolled into the ring, and he ended up hitting Owens with a drop kick. Owens then rolled to the ring apron. So Theory ended up lifting Owens up and dropped him onto the ring apron. And then SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back for the commercial, Owens was on the top rope. he went for a frog splash off the top rope, and he ended up holding his right hand. Of course, that was, wrapped up, in the cast. So Owens ended up going for the cover. Theory ended up kicking out. Owens ended up climbing the top rope. He was going for the swanton, but Theory ended up getting his knees up. So Theory ended up going for the cover, and Owens ended up kicking out. Theory then ended up running to the ropes, but Owens delivered a big boot to Theory. He then ended up chopping Theory's chest, and he started stomping on Theory. Owens threw Theory to the ropes, and Owens then delivered a shoulder tackle, and then he delivered an atomic drop and a DDT to Theory. Owens ended up going for the cover, and Theory ended up kicking out. So Owens ended up climbing the second rope, but Theory ended up jumping, and he ended up hitting Owens with a seated springboard Spanish fly. He went for the cover, and Owens ended up kicking out. We had Theory end up placing Owens on the barricade on the outside and knocked him down. Theory got back into the ring. He ended up telling the ref to start counting. So we had the ref end up counting 9. Owens ended up rolling into the ring. Theory delivered a left hand to Owens. He ended up hitting Owens with a blockbuster. Theory ended up going for the cover, and Owens ended up kicking out. So later on, Owens ended up going for the stunner. Theory ended up grabbing Owens' broken hand, and he started kicking away at it. Owens then rolled to the outside. Theory then ended up slamming Owens' hand into the ring post. He ended up placing Owens' hand on the ring steps, and Theory ended up stomping on it. So Kevin Owens ended up rolling back into the ring. Theory ended up running to the ropes, but Owens ended up hitting Theory with a right hand using the cast. So Owens ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Kevin Owens ended up winning the match. Overall, good match this was between Owens and Theory here. So Owens and Carmelo Hayes are both moving on to the semifinals of the United States Championship Tournament. And either guy will take on Santos Escobar and also Bobby Lashley. So we'll see how that goes. And then the winner of the semifinals will take on Logan Paul for the United States Championship. And then we went backstage, and we saw Roman Reigns. Reigns was sitting in his locker room. He kept saying tonight was supposed to be a celebration, and that Orton ruined Sikoa's moment. Roman ended up asking Jimmy if he saw it, and Jimmy ended up saying to Orton that he saw what happened. Roman ended up saying that someone should silence Orton. Jimmy ended up saying that he can do it, but it sounds like a job for the tribal hair. So Roman ended up saying that it's promotion season, and that if he can silence Orton alone, this could be big for him. So Roman ended up asking Jimmy if he understands, and Jimmy ended up saying, "Yeet." Roman then ended up looking at him, and Jimmy ended up telling him, "No yeet." So pretty much that was that. And then we had a Karrion Kross video end up playing. Karrion Kross ended up saying that this place is about to be recycled. And at the moment he stepped into the door, everything was set in motion. He ended up saying now we are at the threshold. A new beginning. He ended up saying that everything is about to crumble. He ended up asking if you can see it yet. And that soon you will. So we're getting another repackage of Karrion Kross. Do you all care? How many repackages has Karrion Kross gotten already? You know, we're all interested. We were all interested in him coming back and getting repackaged, and WWE ends up failing on Karrion Kross. I'm not excited. Not excited. They'll just handle Karrion Kross like the other times that they did. And then we saw Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens was holding his arm while walking backstage. And in came Cameron Grimes to the moon. And Cameron Grimes ended up saying that he wishes he could have punched Austin Theory like that. And then we had Kayla Braxton. Kayla Braxton ended up asking Kevin Owens about his upcoming match against Carmelo Hayes next week. So there you go. It's going to be Carmelo Hayes versus Kevin Owens next week in the semifinals of the United States Championship Tournament. So Kevin Owens ended up telling Kayla Braxton that he is almost like Carmelo Hayes. He ended up saying that almost 10 years ago, he showed up on Raw and went face-to-face with John Cena. So in came Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes ended up telling Owens that he is not like Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, and that he won't punch him down. So that was basically that. So it's going to be Carmelo Hayes versus Kevin Owens next week. Should be a good match. Looking forward to it. And so then we went to Michael Cole and Kevin Patrick and also Corey Graves. And they ended up showing a clip from last week when Charlotte Flair got injured. So they ended up announcing that Charlotte will be out of action for 9 months. So Charlotte Flair is missing WrestleMania. Yeah, so she'll be out of action for 9 months. And then we cut to a promo from Damage Control. Bayley ended up saying that she created Damage Control to be the most dominant women's faction in WWE history. And every day, they get closer to that goal. Bayley ended up saying that she will win the Royal Rumble and take Rhea Ripley's title from Raw. You know, she'll be the new Women's World Champion. So she then hyped up, you know, the Kabuki Warriors and, you know, Io Sky and also Dakota Kai. So it was pretty much that. You know, she ended up saying that the Kabuki Warriors will be the next Women's Tag Team Champions. So pretty much that was that. And then we had the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, versus Zelina Vega and Mia Yim. So Kairi Sane and Asuka, they ended up coming out, they ended up walking down to the ring, and they were both attacked by Zelina Vega and Mia Yim from behind. And then SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, the match was already underway, which this was a very meh matchup. So Mia Yim was on the outside. Kairi Sane ended up jumping off the ring apron. She ended up hitting Mia with the knee to her face. Mia Yim was thrown back into the ring. Asuka ended up taking Kairi Sane, and both the Kabuki Warriors ended up double teaming on Mia Yim. Kairi Sane delivered a sliding knee. She climbed the top rope. She ended up hitting Mia Yim with a forearm to her face. She ended up going for the cover, but Mia Yim ended up kicking out. And yes, I'm not calling her by the name that they want us to call her, you know, Michin. Mia Yim to me. So Asuka was then tagged back in. They double teamed on Mia Yim. Asuka ended up going for the cover, and Mia Yim ended up kicking out. So Asuka ended up going for a suplex, but Mia Yim ended up blocking it. Mia Yim delivered a suplex to Asuka. Kairi Sane was then tagged in. She ended up grabbing Mia Yim's leg, but Mia Yim ended up kicking Kairi Sane away. Zelina Vega was then tagged to the match. Zelina delivered a hip toss and a kick to Kairi Sane's face. Zelina Vega delivered a run knee to Kairi Sane's face. She ended up going for the cover, and Kairi Sane ended up kicking out. Vega then delivered a double lock DDT to Kairi Sane, And then Zelina Vega ended up hitting Kairi Sane with the 619. Vega got to her feet. Kairi Sane ended up hitting Zelina Vega with a right hand. Asuka then ended up tagging in. She ended up getting Zelina Vega in the Asuka lock. Zelina Vega ended up reversing the Asuka lock into a cover, and Asuka ended up kicking out. So later on, we had Dakota Kai end up getting on the ring apron. Dakota Kai distracted the referee. Bayley then ran down. She ended up throwing Mia Yim off the top rope. Kairi Sane was then tagged in, and she ended up hitting Mia Yim with the insane elbow, and she ended up going for the cover. And there you go. The Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane ended up winning the match. Overall, just a very meh match this was. And then we had Jimmy and Sol Sikoa. Jimmy ended up telling Sol Sikoa that Roman and Paul Heyman have been talking for longer than usual, and that it does not feel right. So Jimmy ended up telling Sikoa it feels like a setup. So Jimmy ended up asking Sikoa if he would tell him if something were to happen to him. Sikoa ended up telling Jimmy he is his brother. So pretty much that was that. And then we had a promo from Santos Escobar. Santos Escobar was talking about his chance last time of becoming United States champion that was ripped away by Rey Mysterio. He kept saying that this time he will take on Bobby Lashley and that he is all about appearances and expensive suits and fancy dinners. Escobar ended up saying that he understands, but that does not matter in the ring. And when he is through with Lashley, he will not want to show his ugly face on SmackDown ever again. He kept saying that when he is done with everyone else, he will take away what he gave to Logan Paul, and he will become United States champion. So next week will be Santos Escobar versus Bobby Lashley. So that should be a good match there. Liking what they're doing with this United States Championship tournament. So then we cut to Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. Lashley ended up saying that Logan Paul is the United States champion, and now they have a tournament. He ended up saying that a bunch of superstars that Logan Paul thinks he can beat except him. He ended up saying that he will face Santos Escobar. So the Street Profits, Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, hyped up Bobby Lashley, and they ended up saying that he will beat Santos Escobar. Lashley ended up telling Santos that he is just standing in his way. So that was that. Good match for next week. Bobby Lashley versus Santos Escobar. Looking forward to it. Main event. Randy Orton versus Jimmy Uso. And this was a good main event here. So the match got underway. Randy Orton started delivering some right hands to Jimmy. He ended up throwing Jimmy to the corner. Orton started throwing some right hands again at Jimmy. So Orton ended up throwing Jimmy onto the ring apron. He ended up going for the DDT to Jimmy, but Jimmy dropped to the outside. Jimmy was calling for a timeout. And then SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, we saw Jimmy was pleading with Orton still, saying, timeout, timeout. So Orton then ended up slamming Jimmy onto the commentary table. He then threw Jimmy back into the ring. Orton ended up going for the cover, and Jimmy ended up kicking out. Orton then locked in the armbar on Jimmy, but Jimmy delivered a headbutt to Orton. Jimmy ran towards Orton, but Orton delivered an elbow to his face. Orton then placed Jimmy in the corner, and Orton started delivering some right hands. He started stomping away on Jimmy. Orton then ended up throwing Jimmy into the ropes, but Jimmy came back, delivered a spinning kick to Orton's head. Jimmy then delivered some right hands. He ended up going for the cover, and Orton ended up kicking out. Jimmy ended up getting Orton in the corner. He then climbed the second rope, and he hit some right hands to Orton. So Jimmy ended up going for more right hands, but Orton delivered a thumb to the eye to Jimmy. Orton then ended up throwing Jimmy into the ring apron. He ended up going for the DDT, but Jimmy threw Orton over the top rope and onto the outside. So then SmackDown went to commercial. Then when SmackDown came back from the commercial, Orton delivered a clothesline and a body slam to Jimmy. Jimmy ended up rolling onto the ring apron, and Orton ended up grabbing him. But Jimmy hanged Orton up on the top rope. So Jimmy was about to get in the ring, and Orton ended up kicking him. Orton then ended up hitting the DDT on Jimmy. Orton was about to go for the RKO, and then Sikoa's music ended up hitting. And out came Sikoa. LA Knight's music ended up hitting. Of course, got a big pop from the crowd. So LA Knight ended up throwing Sikoa into the barricade. Jimmy then ended up grabbing Orton in the ring, but Orton laid Jimmy out with the RKO. Orton ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Randy Orton ended up winning the match. Post-match, LA Knight and Randy Orton ended up staring at each other. Knight ended up telling Orton he knows why he got that win. He kept saying that he knew they were coming. So Roman ended up attacking Knight from behind on the outside. And then Roman and Orton ended up staring at each other. So Roman got into the ring. Both men were delivering some right hands to each other. Jimmy ended up hitting Orton from behind. And both Jimmy and Roman ended up double teaming on Orton. Knight got into the ring. He ended up hitting Roman from behind. In came Sikoa. Sikoa ended up attacking Knight from behind. And so we had Sikoa and Roman and Jimmy end up being down on Orton and Knight. And then we heard, "We don't want none. Oh, we don't want none." AJ Styles ended up returning tonight. He returned to SmackDown. Roman looked at the ramp, and Styles showed up on the ring apron. Styles then ended up hitting Roman with a phenomenal forearm. Styles, Orton, and Knight end up attacking the Bloodline, and the Bloodline end up rolling to the outside. So we had Orton and Knight and Styles looking at the Bloodline. And so then AJ Styles turned heel on LA Knight. Styles grabbed Knight from behind and hit Knight with a clothesline. So Orton ended up staring at Styles. He was looking all confused, like, what just happened here? So Styles left the ring. He ended up walking towards the Bloodline. He walked past them, and he ended up leaving. And pretty much that was basically how SmackDown went off the air. But AJ Styles' heel turn, this was unexpected. And I thought it was good. And this sets up AJ Styles, a potential AJ Styles versus LA Knight match. Maybe at the Royal Rumble. Maybe they do it on a random SmackDown. But looking forward to what WWE does with AJ Styles here. Now that, he turned heel on LA Knight. Does he join the Bloodline? Who knows? But we have to wait and see. But overall, I thought it was a very good main event between Randy Orton and Jimmy Uso. AJ Styles returning was awesome. Him turning heel on LA Knight was very good. Overall, very good SmackDown this was tonight. Really enjoyed it. But anyways, that's it for the SmackDown review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all later.